There are only two certainties in comics. Death will never be permanent unless you're somebody's parents or guardian because stability, and eventually everything will be retconned anyway. I mean, look at the recent news at the time of recording that Marvel is going to reboot everything once more in a fresh start fashion. It just reminds you that for all of the noise about everything being connected, it can all just be rejigged by magic or meddling to make sense in whatever context those behind the scenes want it to be. And if you've made a mistake in the Marvel movies or have a dead-end thread, then it matters not, because you are in the presence of the most powerful hero of them all. By day, he's mild-mannered spice handler Brett Connors, and by night, he's the almighty Retcon. With this in mind, I'm Jules, aka the What Culture Boy with the power to be on all the channels, and these are the 10 biggest retcons in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Number 10. The real Mandarin is out there, somewhere. When it was revealed that Ben Kingsley's master terrorist was actually a complete drunk cockney employed by Guy Pearce in Iron Man 3, fans lost their mind over the biggest nemesis in Iron Man being reduced to a punchline. I mean, I found it hilarious, to be honest, but then again, I just love, "My name is Trevor! My name is Trevor!" The director Shane Black has since expressed that he didn't expect people to be so upset about it, but once the internet exploded over it, Marvel were quick to course correct. They released the one-shot All Hail the King and revealed that there was actually a real Mandarin out there, with Pearce and Kingsley accidentally copying his name and ethos. Which, I mean, is a bit rude of them to violate copyright like that, but I guess it kind of works. Number 9. Vision's drastically reduced powers. When he was introduced in Age of Ultron, Vision was already a pretty out-there being for the MCU. And that's even before you get to his powers, which included flying, phasing, invulnerability, super strength, and the ability to shut down Wi-Fi connections, which makes him absolutely terrifying. He was more than a little overpowered, which would definitely prove an issue in a more grounded movie like Captain America: Civil War. So the Russos simply changed him, namely by vastly reducing his power set. How else could he be halted by a pair of Hawkeye's sonic arrows, or be so ineffectual against a bunch of relatively barely enhanced humans in the airport battle? Retconned out of more destruction, more like. Number 8. Why was Stephen Strange on Zola's algorithm? Back in Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Stephen Strange is listed as one of the targets of Zola's algorithm, suggesting that he'd already been doing his mystical thing for a while in the MCU. However, that turned out not to be the case, as Doctor Strange became an origin movie, meaning that Stephen was only ever a target because of his excellent surgeon skills, which the pointed name check certainly didn't suggest. Big old Marvel Kev actually came out and plainly stated this lackluster conclusion to stop fans speculating, which is really rather disappointing. Number 7. Coulson's magical resurrection. Phil Coulson was obviously killed by Loki in The Avengers, we know that. So it was weird when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. premiered a year later and he was front and center as the team's leader. I mean, what gives? The short, real-world answer is that Joss Whedon liked Clark Gregg so much that he said F you to continuity and brought him back anyway. But the in-universe reason is because of this weird thing with alien blood, cranium reconstruction, and dreams of Tahiti. It might have worked, but it was still huge to have him plonked back onto our screens. Number 6. The fake Infinity Gauntlet in Odin's Vault. When the Infinity Gauntlet turned up in the background of Thor, it was the ultimate MCU Easter egg, setting up the Avengers Infinity War a whole 7 years in advance. However, in the mid-credits scene for Avengers Age of Ultron, we saw Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet in a decidedly different location. Well, he must have stolen it off screen, right? Wrong. Kev once more explained that the one in Odin's Vault was simply a fake, which Thor Ragnarok confirmed, making everyone on Asgard look like a f***ing idiot. Number 5. S.H.I.E.L.D. had been infiltrated by HYDRA all along. The big HYDRA twist in the MCU is also the series' most competent retcon, which revealed that HYDRA had been part of S.H.I.E.L.D. for years, with characters as notable as Agent Sitwell and Gary Shandling's Senator revealed as undercover agents. Retcon is usually a dirty word, a quick put-down to warn creators off tinkering with accepted facts in their work. But the deftness of this twist shows that it sometimes can be executed in a very respectful, forward-thinking fashion. Number 4. HYDRA and S.H.I.E.L.D. haven't really been destroyed. Following that big HYDRA reveal, the Winter Soldier essentially saw S.H.I.E.L.D. destroyed and the remaining HYDRA cells forced underground. What followed in Avengers Age of Ultron seemed to wrap that up, with dialogue suggesting that the assault on Strucker's base was the final step of the HYDRA takedown. But then in Ant-Man, we saw that Scott Lang tried to stop Darren Cross from selling Yellow Jacket tech to HYDRA, seemingly undoing something that 2 movies had put serious time into tying up. The same is also true of S.H.I.E.L.D., as Age of Ultron's finale saw Nick Fury return with a fully staffed helicarrier as if nothing had happened at all. Number 3. Howard Stark went from businessman to super spy. When Howard Stark is briefly set up in Iron Man, it's simply as Tony's weapon-producing businessman father. Then in Iron Man 2, we get a kind of touching reveal that he kind of did care about his kid. And then things got crazy. In Captain America, the first Avenger, he's a military scientist who makes Steve Rogers' vibranium shield, and by the sequel, he created S.H.I.E.L.D. and was killed by HYDRA. Then in Ant-Man, he's a proper devious Secret Service leader. Jesus, man, pick a career path. Thankfully, some elements of the character did remain consistent throughout. In Iron Man, Tony laments how he never said goodbye to his father, an emotional beat that was paid off with the character's introduction in Captain America: Civil War. Number 2. Nick Fury's purpose as director. I'm here to talk to you about the Avengers Initiative, one of the most iconic, badass, and most important lines in the whole MCU, and a mission statement from an emerging studio that was going to change cinema forever. It's such a shame then that in the dozen movies since, its meaning has totally changed. Nick Fury's position as director of S.H.I.E.L.D. seems to suggest that he'd be the overseer of the entire franchise, slowly bringing together the desperate heroes and their supporting cast ahead of a major threat. In the team-up itself, however, that role was reduced, and he now had to report to World Security Council. Then, in The Winter Soldier, he was under Alexander Pierce. A bit less badass when you think of him as a line manager, isn't it? And number 1, Tony Stark's role in the Avengers Initiative. The Iron Man post-credits scene seems to suggest that Tony Stark is being asked to join the Avengers Initiative, which was echoed in the Incredible Hulk's sting when he seemed to be recruiting the Hulk. However, by the time that Iron Man 2 came around, it was decided that Stark was the group's maverick, which automatically sees him be rejected. However, the timelines of Hulk's movie and Iron Man 2 happen at the same time, so Tony was effectively kicked out before he met with Ross. To fix it, Marvel created the one-shot series, releasing a short film with the Thor Blu-ray, which showed agents Coulson and Sitwell discussing how they wanted to keep Abomination in captivity, despite higher-ups' insistence to use him for the Avengers, so elected instead to send the most disagreeable man in the world along. And suddenly, Iron Man's just a S.H.I.E.L.D. patsy.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.